Hello, welcome to today's tutorial. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about CI/CD pipeline, and we'll be using GitHub Actions and also the concept of DevSecOps and how we can introduce it in our everyday DevOps practice. By the end of this tutorial, there are three key takeaways. The first one, you'll be exposed to what DevSecOps is and easily understand how the whole concept came about and how to use it. The second takeaway is you should be able to practicalize DevSecOps and not just the concept. And the third takeaway, you should be able to be in a position to use CI/CD pipeline to deploy your workload, and that will save you more time and headache instead of using CLI all the time. Now, what is DevSecOps? So DevSecOps literally means that during your software development life cycle, at every stage from code writing to production, so from code to operation, you are including um, security at every stage. So you can see we have development stage, we have security baking, operation, we have security baking. And so when you have security at every point, you are security conscious and you don't wait to get into production before you find vulnerabilities, then in your DevOps practice, you are performing what we call DevSecOps, meaning you are developing security conscious, you are operating, and you're security conscious. So, as a DevOps engineer, how do you introduce this? Let me show you how we DevOps engineers can introduce security in our everyday life. Now, this is my pipeline script for my GitHub action. Now, as a DevOps engineer, one of the key things that you may be doing for your company is being in charge of building their CI/CD pipeline and managing them. So your first point of ensuring that security is adhered to is one, avoiding hard coding secrets or credentials in your pipeline script. And how do you do that? You can do that by either saving your secret in Azure Key Vault or using the GitHub environment variable. So here I'm using GitHub environment variable and all the secrets have been referenced from this. Now let me show you that if you are new to GitHub environment variables. So when you come to this my repo, I go to settings, scroll down, secrets and variables, actions, and these are all my environment variables set up here. I can add more if I have. Also remember, all the secrets are encrypted, and so you are safe to put it here as your environment variable and then reference it right in your code. That's the first security conscious step to do, right? The second security thing that I'm doing inside this uh, script is that I'll skip this part. This is not about security, but let me just give you a quick walkthrough. So this is a job that is validating that I have some basic backend infrastructure like a resource group, a storage account, and a container. And I'm checking that because I want to remotely manage my Terraform state. So I want to have these things there so that I can reference them in my backend configuration. Now, let me take you to the second security thing that you do is by including this job, linting. So to linting is like, in simple words, a spell checker. But this time around, linting is a code checker. So it's going to check my Terraform configuration, right, from here. It's going to check my Terraform configuration, all my modules, and make sure that all of them are adhering to best practice. No deprecated packages are being used. Syntax are all correct. So it's checking for me to make sure that I don't have duplicated package which eventually break in the near future and expose me to some security risks. So that's what LinkedIn is doing. Very good security feature to add in your pipeline. The third security feature here, a job called security scan, and I have checkoff. Checkoff is a code analyzing tool, right? And how it does is that your repo is checkout, this step here. Your repo is checkout, and then this checkoff is used to run against your configuration, against your code to find any vulnerabilities. And if it finds any, your pipeline breaks, you fix it before you proceed. But if it doesn't find any, your pipeline will pass, and then your code will pass, and then you continue to deploy. So these are security conscious jobs that are part of my pipeline script. And if you move downwards, you see that we have all those security conscious above before we even deploy to production or to dev environment. This is to tell you that you are security conscious, and at this point, we are not just DevOps engineers who are just building pipelines, but we are DevSecOps engineers building pipeline with security baked into it. So at this point, the three takeaways that you have to get at the end of the day, two already, I guess, has been accomplished. One, at this point, you know what DevSecOps is. And then secondly, as a DevOps engineer, and I'm using CI/CD as the tool of reference to help you understand how you can use it in your everyday life. Then we are going to get to the third takeaway, the final bit of this. This is where you're going to use the pipeline that we've created to actually deploy to production. So let's go to our repo, right? I already have pushed my code to dev environment. So I'm going to make a pull request to main. And when I merge it, this pipeline should kick off and deploy our code for us. Now, before we do the deployment, okay, did I really push my code? Just a second. If I didn't, I'll just do, and then we'll continue. So code, let me check. Okay, so I didn't git add git push. Oh, just want to finish fast. Git commit. Then what do I do? Just say updated pipeline variables. Then I have git push origin dev. So I'm pushing to my dev branch. Okay, git status. So the pushing is done. What do I still have? This no push. So just give me a second. Let me push everything. Make sure that nothing is hanging. Second. Okay. So, all right. So let me check git status. Okay. So everything has been pushed to my dev branch. And now, before I make the pull request, I want to show you something. This is my environment, the Azure portal. And I have a resource group called YouTube Dev. And inside this resource group, I have these resources, a VNet, a disk, a VM, public IP, and then a network interface card. Now I'm going to use the pipeline to develop an AKS, to deploy an AKS cluster. That's the infrastructure. So once we finish, we'll come back here and confirm if that resource appears here and has been deployed. If there is any failure at any stage of the pipeline, the resource will not be deployed. So that is one thing you have to put at the back of your mind. So let's get back to our repo and make a pull request. We are here. Just a quick refresh. Can create a pull request. Let me just say testing pipeline deployment. Normally in production, you have to get somebody to review, follow through, and do the best practice. But for this tutorial, we'll go ahead and check. So now our pipeline is making all the checks, but then there are no conflicts, so we can match our code to main. Right? We didn't review that. I just made it to main. Now let's go to our actions. So here you can see that our pipelines are all kickoff, right? But the one we are more interested in is the one in main, right? Because we want to deploy it. So let's click on that and see what is happening. Now the pipeline is running. So a few things while it's running, let me just take you through the journey. Remember when I was taking you through the configuration for the pipeline, we have linked job, which checks for the configurations of our Terraform, everything is fine, and it has passed that check, so we can see it. Security scan has passed, no security vulnerability detected. Backend validation passed, which means we have a resource group with a storage account and a container for our remote storage management. Now, those have passed. Here, these are just conditional accounts that I set, right? I don't want to delete some of them. So let me skip that and show you what is happening here. Now, I had 3 environments in my configuration, which usually is referred to as Terraform workspaces. So when you come to an environment, I have dev, prod, and staging. And my modules here can be imported into any of them to deploy. And that's how you want to have reusability of modules. Now I'm inside dev and I've imported my modules here. So this is my AKS cluster module, and that is the one that we are deploying at the moment. So to add on to the existing infrastructure. Now back to this environment. So here you can see that the Terraform validation, it has to check all my environments, all the code that are there, they are all up to standard. It is validating that, right? So that's what is happening, and it has passed that check. Now it is at the deployment phase. So let's see what is happening here at the deployment stage. So deployment is ongoing. Let's click on it. So here you can see that Terraform init has passed, plan has passed, and is now applying, Terraform apply. So the deployment is ongoing. So wait for the deployment to complete, and then we see it appear here. So let's see if it's creating anything here. Okay. Now we can see that our Kubernetes cluster, which is named YouTube Dev AKS, is being created, right? And it's appearing here, right? So the deployment is ongoing. It's not done. So it's creating other dependencies to make sure that the entire infrastructure is usable, right? So at this point, I want to believe that you understand every single thing about DevSecOps, how to use it as a DevOps engineer, and how to use your pipeline to deploy your code. This is what we call practical learning of DevOps concept. You are having hands-on and you are seeing that. If you are happy, leave a comment, right? Let me know how I can improve. If you have a topic that you're interested in and you want me to make a video on that, leave that in the comment section as well. Subscribe, grow this channel. This is practical, less of theory, more of practicals of how things are happening, and then hands-on. The code is just for testing. If you're interested, reach out to me, whether through the comments or everything. I can share the code with you, but for now, I'm keeping it private until I grow my audience. You people have to do it, so I'll share it with you. Okay. Thank you for being here with me till now. Our deployment is ongoing. We can go back to the portal and check and see what else has been created. Let me refresh this. Okay, so the dependencies on the cluster are being created, and so we are not seeing new resources, but they are on the cluster. So that's happening right now. Any question, leave it in the comment section. Please like, follow, share, comment, turn on the notification channel. Let me make more videos of this nature, practical. If you have an interesting topic you want me to make a video on, leave it. Thank you for being with the best DevSecOps YouTube channel, and I'll get back to you with new videos. Have a nice day. Thank you.